Without a doubt.
Welcome to the All Funk No Bunk podcast, guys. Great to have you back with us on another episode. Me and Nick this week. We are excited to be here today. We got some really good products. Always. Yes.
Always excited to be here.
Always excited. Oh,
always
shit.
Excited for the cast.
The cast.
The podcast.
The podcast, yes.
The podcast.
Yes, the podcast. I forgot. I'm on Instagram. I'm the Desert Hippie. You can find me on there. And, of course, our All Funk No Bunk Instagram.
We also do Reno normal things.
Yes.
So you can always find us around those types of things, all of the normal things. And then I am on Instagram and YouTube as The Bearded Dabber or at Bearded Dabber Reviews. Same thing either way. So you can find me on there.
Yep. And we have, on top of that, another we might actually have to not do the normal meeting this week due to Corona, actually. I got to test about that.
What a fucking joke.
I know.
You gotta be joking my ass.
You gotta be joking my ass. Get out of my ass.
We can't do it anyways.
Yeah.
Not because we shouldn't, but because I saw... I don't know her name.
Oh.
It's really bad.
Closes at 5.
We close at 5 now, she tells me.
Yeah.
So...
Just don't work.
That ain't gonna work.
Yep. Shoot.
We should probably cancel that somehow.
Yeah, no.
That's okay.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah,
we'll talk to Tess.
Yeah, we'll get that out.
Wow, weird sidetrack, guys. Sorry. Anyway, it's been too long. We haven't gotten high yet. So we are starting out with the happiest hour. Can you see that? The happiest hour mango terpene shots. They are the cannabis companion, and it's just
the cannabis companion.
The cannabis companion.
I like that, honestly.
And it's just a lightly sugared little shot of myrcene, essentially.
It's actually not a terrible amount of sugar either.
No, it's a low amount of sugar. 6 grams of sugar. That's not a lot, and that's really all that's like the additive.
In your parts, but those are the sugars. So.
And it's manufactured by Outlander Extractions, who I love. They do really great stuff, too. I did not realize that. That's a great partnership.
That is cool.
Outlander's the one that does the terpene. Sure. Yeah, the terpene CBD guys. Great stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Super, super good stuff. That's so cool they partnered on this. I didn't even realize that. And I love the Happiest Hour. They're great over there. Really nice people. But you're getting...
You want to do at the Happiest Hour.
Thank you.
To get them on Instagram.
Thank
just
you.
So you know.
Totally. You get 5 milligrams of CBD in this and 15 milligrams of myrcene. And we're going to shoot these down now, and essentially it's going to boost our high in like 15 to 20 minutes when that myrcene hits the system and lowers the blood-brain barrier. Ooh, snap, crackle. Oh. Yeah.
Oh, you know?
All right, guys, down the hatch. Okay. That tastes...
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay.
That is great.
I see you. Yeah, that's really tasty. I'm not even going to lie.
Like cannabis, mango, just tasty.
That's actually really tasty.
That's
I can't even talk shit about that. Yeah. Like, I want to give it to... Like, I'm not going to finish it because I want other people to tell me as well.
How good... No, I got to finish mine. Fuck all that.
Like, I'm going to save it and I'm going to ask my wife and stuff, like, how they... You know what I mean? Because that's something I feel like I need everyone's opinion on. Because I love the way weed tastes. So if it has a slight weed taste to it, it doesn't bother me at all. But I like to get like my wife's opinion because she doesn't like the way the weed tastes in edibles. Okay. So I like to let her try them because sometimes I'll think something is fucking delicious. And then I give it to her and she'll be like, it kind of tastes like weed. Which I don't care. I fucking love it when it kind of tastes like weed. I know.
I'm the same way with that.
I like to get, other people's opinions on it as well.
Well, it's interesting to me because it's more just like a straight up natural mango. Like the weed in it almost like brings really out the like mango flavor even more.
Myrcene is...
Myrcene's in mangoes already, guys.
Yeah. So, I guess that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
For them to make it any other flavor might be done, actually.
It's the CBD, I think, that almost brings out like the cannabis flavor more. I'm not even sure.
Fucking tasty, though.
Great, yeah.
I hope you can hear the dog licking in the background. He's just in his water bowl right now, so I hope y'all can hear that.
Woo. All right,
guys.
I
got a little rem right here. You didn't even notice that.
The myrcene talk's kind of a nice little lead up into some of what we want to talk about today with, we're talking about indicas and sativas. We kind of touched on it on episode 2 on how we feel about that whole classification.
Of Indica and Sativa.
Yeah.
So let's just start by making it really short and sweet.
Okay. That's a good point.
So for any of you guys that only want to watch the first 5 minutes of our video or something, which hopefully is none of you, but if you only wanted to, for whatever reason, you're a busy person or something, at least you know how we feel in the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
So let's just start by saying that we both think it's fucking bullshit.
Straight out BS.
Yeah. So you can get the rest of the idea from that. I mean, it's essentially crap. I mean, it was the best classification system we had 30 years ago.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Even then.
Before there was any real science behind anything, you know what I'm saying, and anything like that, it was and I agree, it was back then the best way to classify something.
Yeah, it made sense.
When you didn't know any difference. There was no lab results on terpenes, there was none of that. You had no idea what you were getting.
So, funny little interesting history, since you're bringing up kind of like that. There was a scientist, and I'm gonna butcher the name, but I'm pretty sure it was Limerick or something like that. And he was the first one to come out with a lot of these studies, and he said that species can evolve in one lifetime instead of over an extended period of time. Like evolution can happen very quickly. Yes. So one of the examples that I heard was a horse that lives in an area where its food is up on trees can in one lifetime extend its neck in order to become able to eat the flowers. So that's the same kind of wrong idea that you've got going on there. It takes time for these things to change and for these things to happen, and they don't just fall into one category.
It can't be lumped into one.
It was just one scientist that said this, and we ran with it, really, more than anything.
I totally believe it, though. I mean, I think humans are good at that, too. I think humans are great at evolving quickly.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab it later. I think humans are great at evolving quickly. I think there's a lot of people that... the way I look at it is I know I don't like saying these types of things. I don't know why, but... The way I look at it is think of someone that is hearing impaired, right? Okay. Their sense of smell and sight and everything else becomes so much more important to them and so much more evolved for them. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the story before. It's kind of an older story, but there was that kid who was completely blind, and he made clicking noises with his mouth, and he used that sonar like a bat, and he could navigate obstacle courses by making clicking noises with his mouth. And he could walk, and that he could hear it. He could hear the sound, just like I can hear myself making that sound. But depending on the pitch and the change of it and blah, 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 depending on where he could tell, especially in his own house, he could be yeah, that's the lamp. You know what I'm saying?
That's nuts.
And he was totally blind. Not just
Right, he couldn't see anything.
I mean,
I know there's partial blindness
totally
and
blind.
things.
I mean, and he could navigate obstacle courses. Not crazy, not like American Ninja, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But put a wall here and a step there and stuff like that. And he could walk around, essentially, without walking into anything. Yeah. And I think that's a perfect example of how the human body can evolve in a very short amount of time.
That's crazy.
Isn't that awesome, though? I mean, that story kind of blew my mind.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, dude taught himself sonar like a bat. That's amazing. It's fucking amazing.
God, that's so weird. I didn't even know about that. So, okay, this is what I was looking for. Lamarck in the 1700s, noting that the indica was short and bushy with thick stems, and sativas were
long and
and then he went further to the indicas are sedative, sativas are energetic, which is just wrong. I mean, if you've ever smoked...
once again, like I said, back then was a great classification system because generally speaking, I would say, more than half the time, not much more than half the time, but I would think more than a 50-50 coin toss. And an indica plant, something that's short and bushy, is probably more likely to be sedative. More likely to be. Doesn't mean that it will be.
No.
But I'm saying that it is slightly more likely that it'll be a sedative plant. You know what I mean?
It definitely falls very closely.
So I get it. Like I said, 50 years ago, when we didn't have no science behind nothing, it was a great classification system, if you ask me. That was smart of them to do that back then. Nowadays, with test results and lab testing at dispensaries and all that. Nowadays, it's a terrible classification system.
It's so bad.
When you have all the tools we have, and when we have all of the tools we have now to classify things, and you're still basing it off of, well, that one was shorter and bushier. It seems kind of dumb now, you know what I mean? Like anything else, you know what I'm saying? Just like anything else. The way they used to run engines in cars fucking 6 years ago was fucking dumb too, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, but back then it was genius. I mean, and like I said, I think it was a genius idea back then, but nowadays, no. We've come so much farther than to be classifying things based off of, well, it was a little shorter and bushier.
Or even smoking it. Or even leaving it just being smoked and deciding how it feels from there is really not an accurate way of classifying, because I know that's what a lot of companies do too. You know, they'll sit down, they got it, they knew it grew this way, they smoke it, talk about it, decide its effects, decide what to tell people.
But batches change.
Yes.
And people are different.
Yeah.
And I think it's... Like we're talking about, I think it's almost a little ridiculous to state that any one thing is just one thing. You know, any one strain has to be just sedative or has to be just this or that, you know? Because it seems
Well, let's
ridiculous.
be honest, outside of like the chemical composition of the plant itself, the outside factors contribute heavily too. Your mood, your environment, just those two things alone change all the time. Oh my
god,
and
especially
then
for someone like me that gets so anxious about certain things.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter what I smoke. If I'm in something that's triggering my anxiety, I'm fucking anxious. And smoking isn't going to do much to help unless it's like that 9-pound hammer we just had that just puts people to sleep.
Right.
That's the only way that's going to help me in that situation. Other than that, I don't even want to smoke in a situation that's triggering me like that. It's going to make it worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And let's talk about that. Like, you know, like with the myrcene shot that we took from the Happiest Hour, thanks again. It's high myrcene, right? And a lot of your, like, we get someone coming into the shop and they say they've been smoking forever and they don't really get high, or they want to go to sleep, or whatever it is. What are you looking for? You know, when you look up flower.
When someone tells me, when they walk up and they're like, I want to get high.
Fucking
you're saying, like,
high.
And they don't give me anything else to work with that.
Right,
they're not giving me like,
well,
I want to go to sleep, or like I want to, be up and giggly and happy. They just come in there like, I want to be fucking high. I'm looking for the most myrcene and limonene I can find in anything.
Oh, for sure.
Whatever has the highest amount of myrcene and limonene, for me at least, because I know people are different, but that's gonna fuck me up.
I'll at least say this. I think from our experience. And again, all of these things that even we're speaking on are more often than not things. They're not absolutes, but for the most part, from bud tending and collective knowledge that we've gathered,
that
with
we've
people,
all done, and not just ourselves, but with like you said, collective with
of people.
Yeah, and not just ourselves having conversation with customers. I mean, like from our coworkers and stuff as well.
Yes,
that's like so. I've seen 10,000 people. I've helped that many people with weed or whatever.
Oh,
but so have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if we take that 20,000 people's now as a test group instead of, and then we take all of our 20 bud tenders, and now we're at 100,000, 200,000
versus 10,000. That's a lot better.
A couple people. You know what I mean? It's like now we're getting a larger sample group to compare to, which is essentially what you want in any. Like testing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The larger your sample group, the more accurate your data is going to be.
Absolutely.
So I think through that, we get a decent idea of things.
And with myrcene and limonene, it just seems to be you get the classic high. You get the high you've always heard of. The super heavy high. Hits you in the face. Can't remember stuff. You're kind of dopey.
Kind of distracted. Kind of dopey. Kind of foggy. I mean, you're just high.
Like, you're lit. Yeah, you're just like, what is that?
Looking through your eyelids, and you're oh my gosh. And that to me is how you get it. Yeah. Tons of myrcene and limonene, for sure. Which I don't always want to be like that, if I'm being honest. The only times I like being like that are when I'm in a really killer, stellar environment. And if I'm on the beach at Tahoe, kicking it with my friends, and the music's playing in the background, hell yeah.
Movies for me.
Up.
Movies, like if I'm going to the movies or I'm watching a movie or TV, I'll hit that combo. It's definitely not my preference or my thing, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But there's times.
But on that, absolutely. There's times for everything, and
everything has its time. Yeah, once again, for sure.
But the myrcene limonene combo, I've seen that in hybrid, sativa, indica. I've seen that everywhere.
I mean, everywhere.
I don't care what the fuck you say...
Which goes right to our point of why Indica Sativa hybrid is just sort of a ridiculous classification system.
And I will even kind of talk, like, just briefly, just so people don't think that we're saying this is 100% absolute either, is that the terpenes aren't your end-all, be-all either. You... Again, with one terpene, you know, we have an idea kind of what it does, and from like large sample groups and stuff, we have ideas what these terpenes do, but the amount of CBD, CBG, CBC, and the levels of all these terpenes are also huge factors. Huge.
And something that I've realized myself is that although Nevada is the jam at testing and at providing consumers the correct information and stuff like that, because a lot of places don't do that. So although they are, great at it, and although even to me, someone in the industry, only listing the top 3 makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. Sure. It does. It makes a really good amount of sense. I'm not disagreeing with that. But at the same time, if something has 50 milligrams of terpinolene, I'm just making up random numbers in terpenes. It doesn't matter. Anything. 50 milligrams of terpinolene, 35 milligrams of osmine, and 27 milligrams of carfentanil. Whatever. Like I said, doesn't matter. They've got over 27 milligrams in their top 3. What is not to say that they don't also have 23 milligrams of myrcene, 22 milligrams of humulene, 20 milligrams of bisabol. Right. And we don't know what else is in there. You know what I'm saying? So there could be so many other things playing in, just like you said, with the CBGs and the CBGAs and you know what I mean, CBD and all of the other things, that it's also, like I said, I think one day we might get to the point where it seems ridiculous to base it just off of 3 terpenes.
You know what I'm saying? I think we're already there, personally.
I think it's great that we've done that in Nevada. Like I said, it's great.
It's the right step.
But it's almost even going to be ridiculous, I think, in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the future, in my opinion. And I don't think we're far off from it, because a lot of this stuff's coming out pretty quick with cannabis, you know.
And I'm going to tell you my opinion, too, because I think I'm hoping they're the same thing.
Okay, for sure. So I think eventually we're going to have essentially iPads for everybody, instead of, because we use paper menus at our job.
So we're already on the same thing as technology.
Okay, for sure.
It might not be the same idea, but we're already including technology into how to fix this issue.
Those will definitely be out everywhere instead of, paper menus and things like that. And when you're looking at things, when you click on a flower or whatever product,
it should give you the test results.
Full test results.
It would have a PDF copy of the test results for you. It's 300 DPI. I mean, you can zoom in and read all the numbers.
Actually decide for yourself and really learn what you like. And it's not even something that
me and you had almost the exact same idea, but I think the best way to solve this, is essentially what you just said, providing everyone with the test results.
Yeah.
But why isn't it that we can't put a QR code on every product that you can scan with your cell phone to pull up a PDF file of the test results? Yeah. Why is that not already a thing with everybody?
To be fair, I think that's a lot of CBD companies do it, right?
I think
that might end up being a regulation at some point.
It should be.
I think
Why would it not be? I mean,
No,
literally almost every one of us has a smartphone.
Well, and if we pay all this for testing,
that's what I'm saying.
These companies are paying through the nose for this testing. This shit's not cheap, especially with all the stuff they have to get tested on your cannabis, guys. Nevada, cannabis is the golden standard for testing. It is tested harder than the stuff you eat and things like that.
Oh my
there
gosh,
is no cleaner.
Oh, hell yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I still want more restrictions for testing for cannabis and things, more for testing facilities, but that's a whole other,
for sure,
that's a whole other side story.
Episode,
but it's so expensive and all of these things that throw it on there, man. Just put it right.
How hard? It's a fucking QR code. You can make them pretty tiny.
Yeah. Show your grow.
Show your grow. Show what you got in there.
Matrix. I should say Evan Mater from Matrix, the grower. He always hashtags that, because him and Steven from GLP.
Oh, yeah.
They just introduced praying mantises instead of pesticides in order to deal with bugs and things like that. And they were taking pictures of it. And they always hashtag show your grow. And I love that. And that's the concept I want to like get across, I think, to more people. And I just don't.
Be more transparent.
Yeah, if you ain't got nothing to hide.
If you ain't got nothing to hide, why are you putting
We're
a
totally
QR
jumping,
code?
Into. But that's the only way a lot of these things can change. Like, we have an issue.
So,
and
back to why Indica and Sativa and hybrids are bullshit.
Right.
The way we change that stigma is doing what we're talking about now. Is actually going in and making sure people have test results.
Right.
So that they can see for themselves. They don't have to take it from my word.
Right.
They can see for themselves that even though the bottle may say Indica on it, it's got its highest 10 terpenes all make me feel like a sativa. And you know what I mean?
I will say dispensaries are taking steps. Even at our dispensary, I gotta say, our manager is a fucking savage and created a terpene sheet that has every cannabinoid.
Him and Aaron, dude.
Yeah, dude, they
got together.
They coded
killed
some
it,
killer.
I don't even know how that works. I am so far behind on technology compared to that.
Yeah.
So to me, that's fucking magic.
Right. They coded. I don't know how coding works, but I watched them write it out, and Aaron and Dean showed me that like you run it and it pulls those test results, put them. Each one, all he has to do is get to the product, hit a button, and it pulls every test result perfectly and puts it into a graph. So all of our bud tenders can access it at our station and find out exactly what's in there. Now, to be fair, you can't do it at home, really, and I think that's one of the big issues because you need to be educated about what you like so you can, be more informed.
And like I said, you don't have to take my word for it.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's a big thing. A lot of people don't trust us. We're not medical professionals, in the industry.
And I don't disagree with that all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not because I don't think that we're not pretty intelligent.
Which we are.
I'm just saying
but everybody's
that
different.
I'm not always right.
Right.
And that if
I don't know everything.
Put it this way, I'm not always right, and I think I'm pretty fucking good at my job, right?
Yeah.
And I've met a lot of people at other dispensaries that I think aren't very good at their jobs.
Yeah.
So how often do they not get it right? If even I not get it right? You know what I mean? If I'm getting it wrong every once in a while, how many times a day do they get it? You know what I'm saying? So I understand sometimes your skepticism of what maybe one of your bud tenders may tell you.
My legs just went numb as fuck.
Yeah?
Dude, I think that machine shot's hitting me hella tough. I'm sorry to cut you
You're
off
just like...
that, but I just hit like a fucking... like all body tingles right now, bro. Like crazy.
I do definitely have body tingles. Yeah,
but
sure.
No, I totally agree with what you're saying. 100%.
No, yeah. So I don't disagree with you to be skeptical with what I say.
Right.
Because I don't know everything.
Well, and
other people don't know anything either. You know what I'm saying? It's...
Especially with where we're at, like we're talking about with all this stuff with the industry, it's so many unknowns, right? Like even my body chemistry changes the way that I feel things. And I've got, my own mental disorders and things like that I deal with and use cannabis for. But that probably changes my experience on some things compared to other people. You know what I mean? So as much as I know about the science and I can kind of give you an idea or a roundabout, I don't know everything. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's going to work exactly for you or what your anxiety's like that day. Is your anxiety through the roof and I can't maybe tell? Not to be fair, we're borderline psychologists at our job sometimes, and therapists. But
wow. The things I hear on a daily basis.
For sure. We'll do an episode on stories sometime.
We should. Absolutely. But yeah, definitely. I mean, the things we hear, we're definitely therapy for sure, at the least.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's his point, you know what I mean, is that I'm not you and you're not me. So it's going to be real hard for us to always get it right.
Yeah. Yeah. All the time. It's even like with indicas. A lot of the time I just thought of a great example sorry, I don't know, my brain sidetracks. For like an example of why indica and sativa is BS. It's like saying that all Americans are super happy all the time.
Or idiots.
Or then saying
drunken fat people.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or saying that all
every
Canadians,
single American, like...
If you met a Canadian, they're a nice person. Like, I guarantee there's several Canadians that are dicks. Like, several. I bet as a population, they are generally very nice.
Yeah, it's just the same concept of trying to say something so broad.
Well, it's like anything else. I say my like go-to saying for things like that is, but there's always exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
Because and I do that with everything in life, not just weed. I mean, in general, when I say things, I mean it, because it's like, 99% of the time, this is going to be correct, but there is always an exception to the rule. There's nothing to say that, you know what I mean? That there's, because I mean, gosh, we all know there's outliers on the graph at all times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's always an outlier, like, no matter what.
If you ever have a bud tender that speaks in absolutes, you have a bad bud tender.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If they're like, no, it doesn't matter what's wrong with you, this is going to heal you. They are trying to hurt you or something. Okay, I shouldn't say that. They're trying to make a sale. They're trying to make a sale.
Yeah, for sure. What I mean? For sure. They're trying to hurt you.
I mean, they might.
Who hurt you?
Who hurt you? My butt tender.
My butt. Oh no.
He gave me the Indicas when I wanted Sativas.
I've heard that actually. This forbidden fruit, bro. So we're smoking on this purple and orange, it's beautiful flower from State Flower. Just obsessed with these guys. I love what they do. Let's see if I can. Oh my god. And it's one of their newer strains. It's like brand new for them. And I am super duper excited about it. It's got like citrusy smell to it.
Yeah, it's citrusy and
earthy,
maybe spicy a little. That's what I was thinking.
It's
citrusy.
It's like spicy. The rind of an orange.
Yeah,
and kind of spicy, but it's so good, man. I just love it. Goes down smooth. Got me going. What? Let's see, myrcene, caraphyllene, linalool.
So that's what I, at the store, would classify as an indica.
Yep. Myrcene, linalool. It's not that they are indica terpenes. It's not that.
No, because that's, as we said, bullshit.
Yeah, it's the combination.
But if I have to use those classifications with someone because that's all they know,
right?
Then that's what I would call.
And I think that's
what I would tell them an indica.
I think that's a really good point. Is that like with all the stuff that we're talking about and how it's BS, it's just good to be informed and aware and understand why sometimes your bud tender maybe recommends an indica when you want energy or something like that. Is because we don't have all these tools yet. We don't have iPads with all these test results, and you guys can't scan your stuff yet, so we do the best we can with the marketing tools we have, essentially.
And we're salespeople, and we do the best we can to relate to our customers in a way that they'll understand it.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't make sense sometimes, because, like I said, it's all they know. You know what I mean? And when that's all you know, it doesn't make sense to you to why you asked to be put to bed and I gave you a sativa.
Right. Because I'm changing verbiage all the time between saying a joint or a pre-roll. Sometimes I'll say one of those things and that someone doesn't get it, and I have to. What? Yeah, I have to switch my verbiage. Be like, no, I meant a joint. I'm sorry.
What's a pre-roll?
Yeah, or a rollie, or or a doobie. Like some people only know one verbiage of these things.
A lot of people only know just those classifications.
Absolutely.
But I mean, that's why we're here, is to let people, to let people know that we need to be moving away from that.
Right. Absolutely.
At the least.
Because when us as consumers are informed, that's when change happens. That's when the effects are made.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I can't stop saying indica and sativa until we take it off of our damn menu.
Yeah, I just can't
do it.
And until growers stop slapping it on their label. Like, how am I supposed to tell you it's not an indica when the person
says
who grew
indica
it
on it?
Right.
On the box. Yeah. On its jar. It's like printed in fat purple letters, indica. And it's like, But like, how do I tell them it ain't? You know what I mean?
Right.
But the thing is it is, because it was grown that way. But they don't understand it.
Right.
Again, that's what I'm saying, is that we have to bridge that gap of, because technically it probably was a short, bushy indica plant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But what we're trying to get across
all of those plants are sedative.
You think, that those short, bushy plants means that you'll go to bed.
And I love...
that doesn't necessarily mean that.
Because, honestly, dude, I'll even say with this forbidden fruit right now, It's so purple, and 90% of consumers right now
97.8% of consumers right now
and
would say that perps are indica.
Yeah, right off the bat, you see purple, it's an indica. No question about that.
Yeah, no question about it.
Even on this jar,
I'm not tired.
And I'll tell you what, even on this jar, it says it's a sativa hybrid, but it has myrcene, linalool, and cherry, and it tastes like citrus, even though there's no limonene in it. And I am not sedated at all. In fact, I'm more upbeat and
the only thing I think
aware
with me,
right now than
the only thing that I would say to someone that uses those classifications all the day. You know what I mean? That wanted to know if it was an indica sativa. The only thing I would say about that is kind of an indica thing or whatever is I feel like I got some sort of body relief from it.
Oh yeah, it's mellow.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But
if we're talking into like medical, like true medicinal benefits outside of just like psychoactive highs and things like that too, that's I do feel like I got story
body relief and stuff, which people usually classify as like an indica thing, the body relief. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's. It's not. To me, they were probably right. It's a sativa leaning hybrid.
No,
they were probably dead on with that. Honestly,
mad respect for that, because like even as like it's so easy as a grower to go, okay, myrcene, cherry, linalool. Oh, we know everyone's going to call that indica, but State Flower obviously took the time.
Yeah, they smoked it and they made.
And again, I mean, we've talked about like this is our experience right now, but I mean, I think it's fairly valid. I mean, between the two of us, we're in a very similar state of mind.
Yeah, and that's once again a small test group, but with what we got. I'm not saying that I wouldn't call that fucking sedative whatsoever.
Yeah, not at all.
No part of that makes me want to go.
And I even mixed it with a full 15 milligram myrcene shot with a little bit of CBD too.
CBD and myrcene.
Yeah,
you're right.
And I am revved up right now. Like
Yeah.
I feel great, not sedated at all.
I feel a little chill, maybe.
Chill, anti-anxiety, mellow,
exactly.
but not sedated,
and
not like I couldn't get up and like do something right now. Like I'd actually prefer.
Oh my god, it'd be dope to hike or something on this. This would be like a good hiking.
Yes,
week. This would be a great hiking week because you get that body relief for your sore legs, all that walking.
But you get that euphoria, and
you got a really good, type of happy mood boosting feeling. You know, it'd be great for that. So they were dead on.
Dead ass. Fucking dead ass.
Get out of my ass.
Get out of my ass. Get out of heaven's ass. It's one of our favorite videos on YouTube.
Ryan goes to Reno.
Ryan does Reno.
That's what it is.
Ryan goes anywhere. He's a comedian. Does these little videos. God, they're so great. Maybe we'll throw a link in on this one or something, just so you guys enjoy that with us. Because when the myrcene hits, a little shout out to Julian. I love Jenna and Julian. Oh, the puppies.
So, when it's all said and done, just like we said to begin with.
Ooh, yes.
Lame.
And just to end on like some more, I guess like factual stuff. Not that none of this is factual. It's just people like studies
to give outside reference.
Yeah, outside reference than just our opinion and what we think. Ethan Russo, who is a part of cannabinoid research. God, where was it at? Let me find it. Hold on. I had it right here. Director of Research and Development at the International Cannabis and Cannabinoids Institute, has pretty much said the exact same things, that for now, indica and sativa are still the most widely understood classifications, but it's outdated, and that there's different varieties of weed can produce different effects, which vary based on the combination of chemicals in the plant, including THC, CBD, and more than 100 other cannabinoids, plus an array of aromatic terpenoids. These chemicals evolved in cannabis, which is older than the human species itself. I thought that was a super crazy little fact, awesome. That cannabis is older.
I mean, I totally believe it, but like, yeah.
And then another, I can't help it. This is really cool. I knew terpenes were developed on the plant to fend off predators, but it also was to heal the plant. I didn't know it had medicinal benefits for the plant. It was, it would like get rid of bacteria, and the terpenoline's an antibacterial, and so it would help the plant in that way and things like that. So
that makes sense.
Really interesting kind of side.
I also thought too that not only were they to push away work as natural pesticides or whatever, but also that they are there for sometimes to, and not just in cannabis specifically, but in plants in general, they're there to actually sometimes attract certain animals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that helps the spread of seeds and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if an animal walks up and eats a nug that's filled with seeds, they go poop it out somewhere. There's a good chance that one of those will sprout, you know what I mean? And that's a good way to distribute their seeds. So they're good for deterring things and also good for sometimes attracting things.
Right.
And now also good for healing the plant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's there for a lot of reasons.
A lot of great reasons. And just like one more little scientist, Jeffrey Raber, I think I'm saying that right, R-A-B-E-R, a chemist with a PhD from University of Southern California and scientific director of Bellevue's WERC shop cannabis lab, explained this at a panel on terpenes at HempFest this last year. You can't extrapolate too far from what basic science has done with only one terpene. It's really whole cannabis composition that we need to start to understand better. Raber said terpenoline is known to be a sedative, but is typically found with an energetic effect. By itself, it might have one response that the rat or rabbit has in its lab, but together with many other terpenes, cannabinoids, it's a very different physiological response. Boom. And I'll put links to these little articles
that we have been saying this entire time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just to give you outside resources. Exactly.
Citing. Exactly. Do you want to finish, or do you want to do at least a couple of the strain things?
Ooh.
Because we're already at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 30 minutes or so.
We can save it. What do you think?
It's probably like 35 minutes right now, so I think.
It's probably long enough, huh?
Dunzo.
Thanks for joining All Funk No Bunk this week again, guys. Stoked to have you. Definitely are.
Find us on YouTube. Find us on Anchor. Find us on Instagram. Find us on Spotify.
Yes.
Find us hopefully on Apple Podcasts
soon.
Find us on possible other.
hopefully some other stuff.
Hopefully it gets on like all. We're gonna go for like the Caster and the Stitcher
and
WeedTube.
We'll be on WeedTube.
Hopefully on all of the things. Yeah. But for now, definitely catch us on YouTube, Instagram, Anchor, Spotify.
Yep. Spotify and YouTube definitely. For the AFNB are the best places. Instagram, we've got the Canna Basics, which will be edibles this week. Go over that and just how to take them, what it entails, what you need to know, for all you beginners out there. And please share, like, subscribe, hit us up, tag us in whatever. We'd love to hear from you guys to talk more. We want to engage with you guys for sure.
You got any good ideas? If there's a topic that you think that we need to cover,
that you want to talk about,
you want to hear our
opinion, you want to be on for any reason,
just let us know. Yeah, absolutely.
We'd love to put it out there for the community. So have a great day, guys.
Fucking wrap it up. Hell yeah, dude.
Fucking
deuces.
Yeah,
without a doubt.